Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will as I continue to bring in that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. We're doing a Thursday afternoon edition of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will because I just wanted to. Pretty simple. I just want to do a Thursday afternoon type vibe. So we are talking about Joyce Edwards, and we're unpacking the SEC Player of the Year hype. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate the love. Make sure you like and subscribe. YouTube channel. Appreciate that. Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Captain Will, the OG. Follow me on Twitter at Gamecocks Talk. Follow me wherever you may be getting your podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Nolan. Good afternoon, good people. Hope everyone had a super great week. Thank you, my brother, Pauline Griffin. What's up, Cap? How you and the family? We are doing great. We are doing terrific. We talked about some South Carolina women's basketball. So, what if I told you that the next SEC Player of the Year, the next SEC Player of the Year is already making headlines, and her name is Joyce Edwards. Yeah, I said it. Joyce Edwards is going to be the SEC Player of the Year, but it's not about the flashy plays, because Joyce is not a flashy player. She don't do the loop-de-loops. She don't do the dupes and all these other stuff. That's not Joyce. She is a consistent, high-level, high-motor basketball player, and I love that about her. I think that's what sets her apart. Real talk. I think that her hustle. In the first year they called her Crash. She's all over the place. She is the hustle bunny, who also is one of the most fundamental basketball players in the country. Stick around, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to dissect the undeniable factors that have cemented her status as a standout contender for the Player of the Year in the SEC. I believe with all my heart that Joyce Edwards is going to ball out this season. The season's almost here. It's almost here. We got an exhibition game, I think it's the 24th against Anderson. We got an exhibition game against North Carolina in Atlanta, Georgia, the State Farm Arena. And then we got real deal basketball, November the 3rd against Grand Canyon. From high school phenom to SEC freshman sensation, we're talking about Joyce Edwards. Joyce burst on the scene with the South Carolina women's basketball team last season, led the team in scoring. Her high school career was unbelievable. She won every award that you could win in high school. You say the award, Joyce Edwards won it. You say a all-star game, Joyce was the MVP. When you have stars amongst stars, Joyce was the ultimate star. She has gold medals for Team USA. Not one, she has multiple. Joyce Edwards, for a long time, was the number one player in her recruiting class. Everybody has their own. ESPN ended up having Sarah Strong as being the number one player in the country, and Joyce fell down to number 2, number 3. But if we're doing Captain Will's poll, and this is Captain Will's show, we are talking about Joyce Edwards was number one player in the country during her senior year in high school. That's how I feel. High school phenom. Joined South Carolina. I remember when she visited a game when she was in high school. I remember that when she was trying to decide on what school she was going to go to. And the crowd was yelling, "We want Joyce! We want Joyce!" I remember that completely because I was leading the crowd. I was standing up singing, "We want Joyce! We want Joyce!" And I pointed to her and pointed at my hat. Now, not saying that I had anything to do with Joyce Edwards showing up at the University of South Carolina. Not saying that whatsoever. But I think I would say like maybe a 0.5%, maybe, yeah, 0.5% influence on Joyce Edwards coming to the South Carolina Gamecocks. Oh my gosh. I mean, her early season dominance, her ability to score the basketball, her ability to make plays was apparent, you know, throughout the season. But when when Joyce was given the opportunity to get minutes, and it ended up being our quote unquote go-to scorer as a freshman, I was like, oh yeah, that girl arrived. She arrived and showed out. And you talk about Joyce, who only played 21 minutes per basketball game. It's not like she played a whole ton of minutes and led this team in scoring. Joyce did what she was supposed to do around the talented players that we have on South Carolina. She thrived in a very demanding environment called the South Carolina women's basketball team, the three-time national champions. She thrived getting coached hard by Dawn Staley and this coaching staff. Some young ladies may shrink in those moments, but Joyce Edwards did not. She did not at all. At all. You're talking about a player who was all SEC. First team. You're talking about a player who was all SEC, all freshman, NCAA all tournament, 9th in the SEC in player efficiency, 11th in the SEC in free throws at 78%. Such a talented basketball player. You're talking about 11th in the SEC in offensive rebounding percentage. Now, South Carolina as a whole was not a good basketball team. I wouldn't say good, was not a great basketball team in terms of rebounding the basketball against talented teams. We were not. But if you just look at the rebounding percentage, Joyce Edwards was 11th in the country. So maybe it wasn't as obvious as we want. Okay? Maybe if she actually got 30 minutes last season, her rebounding numbers would have been outstanding. In 21 minutes per play, she averaged 5 rebounds per game, which ended up being 11th in the SEC in terms of offensive rebounding percentage. So 16 teams in SEC. Okay? Whole bunch of young ladies playing basketball on these teams. She was 11th in offensive rebounding percentage. What that means to me is if Joyce gets the minutes, I'll be at 30 minutes. She's going to put up some outstanding numbers in regards to rebounders. 21 minutes per game, 13 points, shot 53% from the field on 9 attempts per basketball game. Like I said before, she averaged 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Okay, 3 turnovers. Scratch that. 2 turnovers. Because early in the season, Joyce was turning the ball over quite a bit. That got better and better and better. 78% from the free throw line on 4 attempts per game. 12th in the conference in defensive rating. The narrative across South Carolina fans, which is outstanding. I mean, we have a ton of fans in South Carolina. I mean, other schools wish they had so many fans as South Carolina has. But that Joyce doesn't play defense. She was 12th in the conference in terms of defensive rating. Okay, that's outstanding. So she can play defense. So that narrative isn't true. She can guard you, and that defense is only going to get better. Was she beat sometimes last season? Of course she was. Was she in some one-on-one situations where she was her youth used against her? Of course she was. But Joyce can play some defense, and she's going to do that again this season. 13th in the conference in terms of offensive rating. 12th in defensive rating, 13th in offensive rating. Those numbers will be better this season. I believe that Joyce will be top 7 in offensive rating and top 7 in defensive rating. If she does those things, we are definitely talking about SEC Player of the Year. Joyce is a terrific basketball player. Miracle writer for you. Say, hey, Captain Will. Say hello to your wife and your parents. I would definitely tell my wife and my parents hello. Thank you so much. James Whitmore with extended minutes. Joyce and Latson are definitely a favorite for first team All-American. James, thank you for the comment. And I believe that as well. I believe that both of those young queens are going to get 30 plus minutes. And I believe that they will be spectacular this season. Ta'Niya Latson played a little over 30 minutes, about 31 minutes for Florida State last season, averaged 25 minutes per game, 25 points per game, I should say. And took, I think it was, I can't remember, it was 19 or 20 attempts per in terms of field goal attempts per game. I can't remember, but I don't see that happening with South Carolina. What I do see with Latson is that 25 points go down to about 19, 18 points, but also she become more of an efficient player. Now with Joyce averaging about 13, points per game last season, that number will go up to about 18, 19 points per game. There is a possibility for these two young players to average 20 points per game. There is a possibility. And I know she's going to get more field goal attempts. 53% on 9 field goal attempts. That number will go up. Joyce will get 15 to 17 field goal attempts per game. And then on top of going to the free throw line and ability to knock down free throws, 78% will be the lowest free throw percentage that she will have her whole college career. Ernest Brand said Joyce will average around 19, 21 points and around 9.5 rebounds. That's Ernest. You're along what I'm talking about. Around 19 to 21 points of what I believe that Joyce is going to average. And she's going to put outstanding rebounding numbers. And we're going to need it. Trust and believe, because with Chloe being out for the season, we're going to need someone to help rebound the basketball. Dawn has said nobody's going to blink. Next woman up. So that's what happens when you have such a talented basketball team. Ain't no doom and gloom. Everybody wants to play. So now it's the opportunity for some of these players to step up and get the minutes, those 21 minutes that Chloe was getting. Joyce is going to get some of those minutes. And when she gets some of those minutes, she is going to produce. I love it. I love it. All the coaches love Joyce. Everybody loves Joyce. Team USA love Joyce. WNBA scouts love Joyce. Because she does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but does all of it right. And does all of it well. Joyce will go down as one of the best basketball players the University of South Carolina has ever had. Trust me, I said that before she committed to South Carolina. That when she comes to South Carolina, she's going to be one of the best basketball players that South Carolina ever had. She is going to be 4 years at the University of South Carolina. Her name will be etched in stone in points, rebounds, so many accolades she's going to receive when it's all said and done. She already has a closet full of trophies, and she's only going to get more trophies this year, junior year, senior year, and will be a top 3 pick when it's WNBA time. Joyce Edwards is a special player. She has the it factor that teams want in a basketball player. She has that. She has it. She's only scratching the surface. In Carolina, we are blessed to have her on this basketball team. Our starting lineup is scary. When you are starting Joyce, Madina Okot, who's 6'6", averaged a double-double in 21 minutes. Tessa Johnson, Ta'Niya Latson, and Raven Johnson. Come on now, that starting lineup is fierce. Is Carolina ranked number 1 in the AP poll? No. We're ranked number 2, with UConn being number 1. Now, I don't agree with everything the AP pollers do, I'm not an AP poll voter. I wish I was. I really do. I wish I was. I'm more of a, I look at the net rankings. That's what I see as the best teams in the country. AP poll, isn't as, it's a little biased in my opinion. But net ranking is what is my blueprint of the best teams in the country. Okay? But I do agree with UConn being ranked number 1. They are the defending champions. Okay? I believe that you are defending champions. You're the best until somebody beats you. And UConn is right now the best. Carolina's number 2. Now, you can also make the case that with Chloe Kitts being out for the season, that you can drop Carolina down a few pegs. I get that notion. But it's all circumstantial until the games actually start. Because we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen in terms of how these rankings, because start happening and injuries start happening. We don't know. We can just guess. But the guess that I will always say is that Joyce has a great opportunity to win Player of the Year. Now, if you look at the preseason situation, predictions, if you will, they have Madison Booker being the SEC Player of the Year. Here's the thing. I love Madison Booker. I think Madison Booker is a terrific basketball player. I really do. But last time I paid attention to Madison Booker, Breezy Hall had her locked up multiple times. She is a terrific basketball player, but I do not believe that Madison Booker is as great as some people believe. I don't think so. Madison averaged 31 minutes per game. She averaged 16 points. She shoots 46% from the field on 14 attempts. Here's the thing. Joyce's numbers that I just spoke of are better than Madison's. She just plays more minutes. 46% to 53%. Madison does hit 82% from the free throw line on 4 attempts per game. She gets you 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Offensive rating of Madison Booker is lower than Joyce. Madison Booker defensive rating is a little lower. But if we're going to call a spade, and if you put Madison playing 21 minutes instead of 31 minutes, Joyce's numbers would be better. Sometimes what we get the short end of the stick because some of our girls aren't playing those minutes. Boy, if you're talking about player for player, which was going to happen this season, Madison Booker, she averaged 31 minutes a game this season, and Joyce Edwards averaged 31 minutes a game this season. Joyce's numbers are going to be better, and you have to give it to her. South Carolina's basketball team will be better than Texas this season, and Texas has a terrific basketball team. Texas will definitely be in the Elite Eight, possibly in the Final Four yet again, but South Carolina is better. Second player that could challenge Joyce is Fly-J. Fly-J Johnson had a great season last year, playing on a terrific basketball team in LSU this time again. Awesome numbers with 32 minutes per game, average 19 point shot, 47% on 15 attempts. Joyce Edwards' numbers are better again than Fly-J in terms of field goal percentage. Fly-J shot 38% from 3 on 4 attempts per game. She shot 81% from free throw line on 4 attempts per game. Fly-J got 6 rebounds. Fly-J had 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers. This is a terrific basketball player that's playing for a top 7, top 5 basketball team in LSU. But defensively, Joyce is better. Offensive rating, they're the same. Again, Fly J just plays more minutes. Reagan Beers. This is a great comparison because Reagan Beers don't play a ton of minutes. She played 22 minutes last season as well. Joyce played 21. She played 22. Reagan averaged 17 points per game. She shot 63% from the field on 11 attempts. That is very efficient. She shot 70% from the free throw line on 5 attempts. Rebounding the basketball, she had 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal. But she only played 22 minutes per game. Oklahoma plays that crazy, fast-paced game that I think that does not suit Reagan Beard's style of play. She also averaged 3 turnovers. She had an offensive rating of 116, had a defensive rating of 80.9. Reagan Beers is a great basketball player. She could be Joyce's biggest competition this upcoming season in terms of SEC, player of the year. Everybody saying Madison Booker. Great player. Reagan Beers is great too. Michaela Blake's sensational player last year in terms of offensive basketball. Set all kinds of records. Averaged 32 minutes per game. Shot 20. Averaged 32 minutes per game. Averaged 23 points per game. 46% from the field. 34% from 3. Shot a ton of 3 attempts. Averaged 7 3-point attempts per game. Only shot 34%. She shouldn't be shooting that many 3-point attempts when you're shooting only 34%. And Raven Johnson came out and shot 7 attempts and only 34% from the 3-point line. We'd be having all kinds of a crazy mess in the comments. But Michaela Blake's shot a ton of 3s and hit some of them. 89% from the free throw line. She gets to the basket. Defensively, that's a whole nother situation. 93.5 defensive rating. That has to improve for her. Offensively, talented, 120.3 offensive rating. The girl is good. Really good. We'll see how good her team is. But these young ladies, am I jumping up and down saying these players are better than Joyce Edwards? No, I'm not. Especially this year, where South Carolina is going to need her to step up and be her, with Chloe being down this season. Ernest Brand said Latson will average around 22 points per game. Agot will lead the SEC in rebound and average 15 and 10 with 2 blocks per game. Latson is going to average, this again by Ernest Branch, Latson is going to average 18 to 20 points per game. Agot, you said that Agot will lead the SEC in rebounding. If Agot leads the SEC in rebounding, I'm going to be jumping up and down, going crazy. I do. I am. She is huge. Huge. And she will have every opportunity to play meaningful basketball this season. James Whitmore, the dark horse will be Ayla McDowell. She's amazing and is college ready. James, I agree with you. I love Ayla McDowell. I think that she's going to get about 15 minutes per game this season. I think she can play multiple positions. I think you're going to see her all over the court. She was playing against WNBA players this summer. She is very talented, and she is not scared of anything. 15th in her recruiting cycle, you can miss me with that right there. There's no way that she should have been 15th in this recruiting cycle. No way in the world. But the same folks that had, Full Wiley 13th. Tessa 25th. Chloe 17th. Sometimes you outplay your recruiting ranking, and I believe she definitely is going to do that. JHAM0825. I'm still trying to figure out how last year's nation's leading scorer in the preseason, second team SEC. It wasn't like she scored all those points against Car Wash Community College. Love that. Oh man, only thing I can think of is they thinking, okay, she got to prove it at SEC, but that degrades the quality of basketball at Florida State or the ACC. So they don't want. I ain't trying to make up no excuses for the folks who vote, but come on, they know good and damn well that Latson and Joyce should have been first team All SEC. Come on, man, that makes no sense. But it's okay. I turn the leaf. I turn a new leaf. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to do all those things that I did in the past where I lose my damn mind in regards to these rankings and these preseason awards. I'm not going to do it. I'm getting better. Captain Will is in year 3 of covering South Carolina women's basketball. And we are going to have a measured approach this year. I'm gonna do my best. Adam Ritter, Captain Will, I'm still worried about the season. You always worry. I get it. You always worry. You also said I need to think that the freshmen need to step up big to help the loss of Chloe. I think they need to step up big. I don't think that's necessary to step up. I believe that Joyce is going to get about half of Chloe's minutes, which would be about 10 minutes extra workload for her. I believe that those other 10 minutes can be distributed however Coach Staley wants to go. It can go to what I wanted to go to is to Maryam Dauda. That's what I want. I think that she's improved a lot during the summer, and I think that she's going to play well this season. So if those minutes can go to her, and if it's not her, then you can potentially look at possibly a smaller lineup where you can have a player like Ayla McDowell getting some minutes like that. But I don't think it's like necessary, mandatory that our freshmen come in and play meaningful minutes like that in clutch situations. Now, if Agot McCurr and Ayla McDowell play amazing basketball, it's going to be figured out anyway, because I don't promise anybody anything. So if they can ball, they're going to ball. And I believe they can ball from everything I'm hearing. So make no mistake about it. Those 2 5-star recruits are going to play basketball for us. And this is a long season. Carolina, we win the championship in April. You're talking about 37, 38 games. Injuries are going to happen. And if injuries happen, I love to go down the bench and you can pull up, 5-star recruits, unlike some other teams. Quantity, we have 10 basketball players on this team. Of all 10 of those players are 5-star recruits. So it's an abundance of talent. We are, in terms of recruiting, strictly recruiting and roster build, we are the most talented basketball team in the country. 10 for 10, 5-star recruits. There's no other team that has 100% of their roster who are 5-star recruits. None. Now, will all these players play up to that status? We will see. That's why we got to play the games. Some of the head-to-head matchups that are pivotal with deciding who's going to be the SEC Player of the Year. You're talking about January 15th against Texas. That game is at home. Some of the Carolina's toughest games are at home. You got Texas on January 15th, where you will see Madison Booker in Colonial Life Arena. Okay, you got Oklahoma, January 22nd, at home. Okay? You got Vanderbilt. What was that, January 25th? Michaela Blake's. And only one. LSU, February 14th. That's going to be in Baton Rouge. this is October the 16th, right? I've already gotten calls, DMs, messages about me appearing on LSU podcast radio. This game is going to be huge. This will be the biggest game of the season other than the national championship game. LSU versus South Carolina in LSU is going to be the biggest game of the year, minus the national championship game. I can't wait for it. But we have a whole lot of basketball and a whole lot of conversations to happen before then. But we will see Fly J. We will see Michaela. We will see Madison. We will see Reagan. We will see how they stack up in those head-to-head battles against Joyce. How the media covers these games. How the media pushes the narrative of who is the best. We got to be careful about that. Because if you constantly say somebody's better, people start believing it, right? Madison's better. Madison's better. Madison's better. Okay, let's watch the games. Let's watch the games. Let's take it all in. Let's go look at all the analytics, look at all the stats, and then we decide on who's the best player. Look at the team, how that player controls the team, how that player fits in the construct of the team concept. Joyce, it's going to be amazing this year. The SEC schedule is dominant. The SEC is the best conference in women's basketball again. Isn't that great about basketball? Where schedules matter, where competition matters. That is so great. That those things actually matter in the season, where you actually see the best playing the best, where you're not running away from competition. We can run away from competition in non-conference all we want to. You have some teams that does that fills a cupcake type schedule in non-conference. And then when it's conference time, everything is a surprise. But the SEC from top to bottom, with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma, is straight up elite in every sport. Women's basketball, men's basketball, football, softball, soccer, every sport, it's the best. And I love that about this conference. There is no cupcakes, so to speak. We've been waiting on basketball for a long time. For the ones who watched me in Big Brother this summer, I was literally dreaming about basketball. But it's back. It's back. The team performance of the South Carolina women's basketball team, the three-time national champions, is directly impacts individual awards. We do great. We supposed to be rewarded. Now, in the past, that has not always happened because the voters didn't know what the hell to do with the South Carolina basketball team. I don't care if we're undefeated in SEC play. I don't care if we're undefeated in the season. Like, well, they can't be as that good like that because their numbers, their stats don't measure with these other stats. Because how do you quantify South Carolina when they're only playing 20, 22 minutes per game? And then you got some of these other players playing averaging 35, 37 minutes per game. So how do we do these individual awards? How do we do that? Well, this is why you look at everything. You look beyond the box score. You look at the actual games. You look at how dominant a basketball team. You look at the analytics. That is why they're that's why they're there, to look at them. Sometimes that stuff goes unnoticed. And a lot of times our girls don't get the credit that they deserve until the end of the season when we are winning SEC championships and winning national titles. But make no mistake about it. Every podcast I go on, I'm going to talk about it, of how good our girls are compared to some of these other girls. Because if we're not getting the shine from the media, I'm damn sure going to let the media know how good we are. Trust me when I say that on any platform that I'm on. Personal injuries, fatigue, those things happen during the season. It happens for every basketball team, 365 teams to be exact. But we're talking about these predictions in the context of everything being even and playing, I would say 85% of the games. Let's say that 80 to 85% of the games. And if we play, if Joyce plays 80, 85, 90% of the games and then play 30 minutes per game, Joyce is going to be the SEC Player of the Year this year and potentially next year. She's going to get the credit that she deserves. The world is about to find out how good Joyce Edwards is. Trust me when I say that. And I love her family. I can't wait to chop it up with her family come next month. I can't wait. Because you got a queen from Camden, South Carolina, who I believe is one of the best basketball players in the country. And I believe that she is the best basketball player in the SEC, bar none. She just got to show the rest of the country who she is. With that being said, this concludes another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I am your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I continue to bring that gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you now rocking with the best. Since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.